Welcome my students. Today we will see a new lesson. The lesson of today is in the textbook Window on the Word, Unit 9. It is a grammar lesson. The title of the lesson is the present perfect. So today we are going to see the present perfect. Now let's start our lesson. Let's have a look at this dialogue. Let's look at this dialogue. First, Sarah. Hi, Jessica. So Sarah says hi to Jessica. Jessica, hello, Sarah. So Jessica responds, hello, Sarah. Sarah, I have studied English since 2015. I have studied English since 2015. Jessica, wow, that is nice. I have never studied English. Sarah, have you studied Spanish? Jessica, no, I have not studied Spanish, but I have studied French for 5 years. So the verb study here is يدرس, study. So you remember this first, before talking about the present perfect, we should revise the simple past. You know the simple past. So for example, I work, the simple in the present, I work now. He works now. The simple past, he worked with ed. So we add verb plus ed. Worked. So this is the simple past. Now we have the present perfect. Okay, now I will show you the present perfect in this dialogue. So number one, we have I have studied. Okay, so I have studied. So I have studied English since 2015. Okay, I have never studied English. I have never studied English. Next, so these are affirmative sentences. The sentences in red are affirmative sentences. Now let's move on to interrogative sentences. Have you studied Spanish? So this is an interrogative sentence. So we switch the subjects and the helping verb. Have you studied Spanish? Okay. It's like have got. Have got. Do you remember have got in the beginning of the school year? Have got is a present perfect sentence. I have got, and you have got, and we say have you got. We switch the helping verb and the subject. The negative sentence is no, I have not studied Spanish. So I have not. We know that with the negative we add not. Okay, so let's repeat the sentences. Affirmative, I have studied English. Interrogative, have you studied Spanish? Negative, I have not studied Spanish. Okay, now let's continue. When do we use the present perfect? When? متى؟ فوقاش كنخدمو present perfect. When do we use the present perfect? We use the present perfect with time markers. So we have specific time markers that we use the present perfect with. Time markers are words that we use the present perfect with. Okay? For example, we have already. هادو كلمات كنشوفو هادو كنستخدمو معاهم present perfect. Already. So when we see already, we use the present perfect. For example, I have already finished the work. Okay, for example, your teacher says, did you read chapter 5? You say, I've already finished the book. Okay, I've already finished the book. Okay, so already. Already in French is déjà. Okay, already. Next, for. Example, I have worked here for 7 years. So we use for plus a duration. For plus duration. Duration, مدة. Okay? I have worked here for 7 years. Since. Example, I have worked here since 2008. So we use since plus time. When we have a specific time, we use the present perfect and since. When we have a duration, we use for and the present perfect. Next, we have never. Never. Ahmed has never traveled to Spain. Never. شو ما عمره مشى إسبانيا. Okay? Ahmed has never traveled to Spain. Ever. Ever. So we use ever with interrogative sentences. For example, with questions, we say, have you ever traveled to France? Have you ever traveled to France? Have you ever traveled to France? Okay? وش عمرك مشيت لفرنسا? Have you ever traveled to France? Now we are going to see the timeline. So the timeline. So we use the present perfect with already, for, since, never, and ever, and we use it with this timeline. So this is a timeline. This is the past. This is the present, and this is the future. So the action in the present perfect starts in the past, as you can see here, and continues to the present. Okay, so if the action starts in the past and continues to the present, we use the present perfect. For example, I have worked here since 2008. So I worked in 2008 and I still work now in the present. So the action of working started in the past in 2008 and it still continues in the present. So we use the present perfect. Okay? Also we use the present perfect with actions that happen in the past but have consequences in the present. نتائج عندنا نتائج في الحاضر. Let's continue. We see the rules now. The rules. Let's see the rules. Now we have seen examples. We saw examples. We saw the timeline. Now we will see the rules. Like all the tenses, we have three forms. We have the affirmative, the interrogative, and the negative. In the affirmative, we have subject plus have or has plus the past participle. So we use have with I, you, we, they, and we use has with he, she, it. You know this. Like for example, have got. Again, do you remember have got in the beginning? I have got, you have got, he has got. So this is the present perfect. Plus the past participle. So I have got. Got is the past participle, participe of the verb get. So what is the past participle? So every verb has three forms. The present, the simple past, and the past participle. We have regular and irregular verb. Okay? Regular verbs, we add ed. So work, worked, worked. Okay? Work, worked, worked. This is a regular verb. So the present is work, the simple past is worked, the past participle is worked. So the participe passé. We have irregular verbs. You should memorize them. I will give you a list of the irregular verbs. But as an example here, for example, we have eat. Eat, the simple past is ate, the past participle is eaten. So for example, I say I have eaten. Present perfect. I ate, simple past. I eat, present, simple. Okay? Now we know the past participle. Let's move. Let's continue our lesson. Now we continue our rules. Now examples An example for the affirmative. So in the affirmative we have subject plus have or has plus past participle. Example, I have traveled, or I have eaten, or I have worked. So subject plus have or has plus past participle. Interrogative, have or has plus subject plus past participle. So we switch the helping verb have or has and the subject. You remember in the beginning of the year, I have got, you have got, have you got, have I got, has he got. Okay, so we switch. Example, have you finished, have you finished. Now the negative, we add not. Subject plus have or has plus not plus past participle. PP here means past participle. Example, I have not eaten. So eaten is the past participle of the verb eat. Okay, now I want you to stop, to pause the video and copy this in your exercise, in your lessons copybook, in a different copybook, of course. Now let's do some practice. Now I want you to put the verbs between brackets in the right present perfect form and fill in the blanks. Sorry, this should be the present perfect, not the present simple. Okay? Now put the verbs between brackets in the right present perfect form and fill in the blanks. Now I want you to take a copybook or a piece of paper and do the exercise. Let's start now. I work here 2010. Okay, I work here 2010. So I want you to do this. Okay, so put the verb work in the present perfect and fill in the blank. The solution is I have worked here since 2010. Because we have a specific time, we use since, منذ. Okay, since. So I have worked, subject I, have helping verb, worked past participle. Work is a regular verb. Next, I study Spanish 3 years. I study Spanish 3 years. The solution, I, subject, have, helping verb, studied. So we have consonants plus y. We change the y into I and we add ed. I have studied Spanish for 3 years. We have a duration for 3 years. So 3 years is a duration. We use for. Ahmed finished his homework. So the subject is Ahmed. Helping verb has, because Ahmed can be replaced with the subject pronoun he, so has. Ahmed has finished his homework. Okay, and this is our lesson. Thank you for watching.